Just another rant from an old man, number 4. I was going to talk about migrants today, but I'm going to talk about cops instead. In the 50 years that I've been alive, I've seen a lot of cop interaction, first person, second person, third person. The reason there's so much hostility towards police, several reasons, actually. First is the quality of people they hire. Second is the training. Third, I would have to say, I'm not sure. Maybe it all lumps into that. Maybe part of it is the fact that you have to be part sociopath or psychopath to even want that job. I don't know. I do know that you can be a citizen just walking down the sidewalk or riding your bike down the street or whatever the case may be, and you can be stopped for a non-consensual stop. What's the first thing they do? They walk up and they flash that gang sign. Let me see your ID. Let me see your ID. Who are you? What's your name? That's a direct violation of your constitutional rights, which is law. You don't have to comply with that bullshit. That falls under your 4th Amendment, if you don't know. I don't believe that most cops, 9 out of 10, even know their first 5 amendments. Now, granted, 3 doesn't really come into play too much yet. But you should damn sure know all 5 articles of your First Amendment. You should know your Second Amendment, your 4th, and your 5th. All cops, period. If you don't know anything else, you for damn sure ought to know that. They approach you aggressive. Let me see your ID. What's your name? They get right up in your space. Usually within striking distance, I'll say. Trying to intimidate you right off the bat. Trying to get you to comply through intimidation. Look at me, I'm tough. I got a badge. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know shit. But I got a badge and a gun. Now, you don't have to comply with a police officer. It's not even a lawful demand or a lawful command unless you've committed a crime. If you haven't committed a crime, it can be consensual or non-consensual. But you damn sure don't have to comply. And you damn sure don't have to help them in their investigation. You have the right to remain silent. You can invoke your 5th Amendment anytime you want. So, this responsibility falls on the people and the police. The police need to know what they're doing so they police better, and the citizens need to know their rights so they can be better citizens. They need to hold cops accountable. There needs to be accountability. Has to be. Anytime you have a police interaction, film it. Always. If you're in a public place, you can film anything you can see. Your eyes cannot be trespassed, which means you can film anything you can see. You can film any government employee performing their duties in the public. Anytime an officer infringes on your rights, bullies you, intimidates you, assaults you, you have the right, and I feel the obligation, to go and file a complaint. You know, as soon as they ask you, what's your name? Let me see your ID. Your response is name and badge. And that's it. Until they identify themselves as a cop, they could be anybody. I could go buy a cop costume. That's all they are. It's just a clown costume. I could go buy a costume and a badge. I could look like a cop. won't, but I could. If they refuse to identify, don't even take them serious. That's a joke of a fucking cop. Cops need to do better. This hostility is only going to grow. This divide is only going to grow. All they do is trample on people's rights. It doesn't matter if you're on your own property, if you're out in the public, in a public building, doesn't matter. Somebody calls you in suspicious. What do? They come flashing that gang sign. Let me see your ID. Well, you haven't committed a crime. Do they have reasonable, articulable suspicion that you've committed a fucking crime? If not, kick rocks. Being suspicious is not a crime. Anybody can call anybody in. That doesn't mean shit. And you don't have to assist in that investigation when they come up. It's their duty to go talk to the person that called and get their side of the story and do their investigation. And then it's up to you whether you decide to assist them or not. People need to wise up. Learn your rights. Know your rights. Exercise your rights. If you don't, we're going to lose them. You cops do better. This is ridiculous. You know, you guys are doing nothing but preying on poor people. Go look at the fucking warrants for a municipality. Most of them are single moms driving without a license. Some elderly person with fucking broken lights or something. Stupid shit. And yet they have warrants for them. You have Mexican cartels taking over the whole west side of Chicago so that they can traffic humans and fucking drugs all over the country. Organizations worth billions of dollars. You know they're paying off politicians and everybody else. Now that's real fucking crime. I don't see that in the paper. How come I don't see any of those busts? And that's what makes you a fucking joke. Step up. Do better.